23. Today we'll be talking about DCA partially reopening. The Hocus Pocus sequel is happening. Mando Mondays have started. Oscar Isaac is the Moon Knight, and more. You are watching the Castles, Capes, and Clones podcast live, where we discuss everything in the Disney universe, from Pixar to Star Wars, from Disney films to Marvel, and from ABC to the Muppets. If you are enjoying this program, please do be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell for notifications so you can find out what we're posting next. And do like this post. Hey, everybody, I'm Lauren, and I'm here with my cousin and co pilot, Rich.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going all right. How are you?
Same. Nothing major to report. I get to go from my
Yeah.
living room to my office to my bedroom, and that's pretty much going to be my next month. And hit the bell for notifications so you
Fun.
can find out what we're posting. Fun,
Yep.
fun times for sure. Like this, so, but it's healing. It's healing, and that's all I can ask for.
Right. Yeah.
Rich.
Yeah.
Hello.
I mean,
Yeah. How's it going?
it's March
It's going all right.
283, 2020.
Yeah.
uh,
report.
Still
I
quarantined.
get to go from my living room
And,
to
you
my
know,
office to my bedroom. Yeah, that's
It's
pretty
like
much
one big
gonna
long
be
day.
my next month. Right. Yeah, exactly. One day at a time. One day at a time. For sure.
Yeah. So,
But it's healing. It's
Yay.
healing. All right. That's all I can ask. Well, let's get to the news. We start our news from, as always, within the castle gates with Disney news. In November, Disney is extending downtown Disney onto Buena Vista Street and part of Grizzly Peak for shopping and dining experiences.
It's like one
As a
big long
result,
day.
it will also be rehiring about 200 people to work at DCA during that time, which is a nice
So,
benefit.
yeah.
And I find it interesting that they are calling this a extension of downtown Disney, and I think they're trying to show that they've had success in downtown Disney and they could have success on Buena Vista Street. I think it's a good move.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's not like because what's it called? What's up? Knott's Berry has been open for
Right.
for a while, doing their food festival kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
the rides are not open, obviously, but everything kind of around the rides are like the stores, I think,
Yeah.
are open and stuff like that. And I think it's a good move for Disney. I mean, it gets more people employed. Um, and because now there's going to be people going to California Adventure,
For a while doing their
the foot traffic hopefully spreads out a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because there's tons of space in Esplanade. I'm wondering like how
everything kind of around the rides
much they're going to,
like the stores. I think.
like how much like outdoor
And
seating
I
and
think it's a
stuff
good move
they'll
for
put.
Yeah.
Disney.
It
gets
From what I understand, though, because like I know like some of you probably never been to DCA, but the entrance is not going to be the gates. It's going to be through downtown Disney. So
Right.
um,
Closer to Grizzly Peak.
yeah.
There's tons of space in Esplanade.
So I'm assuming like it's going to close off right before you go
into
into
how much
that area with like the
Yeah, I'm assuming where they have
obstacle
the
course
billboard.
thing is and stuff like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then go
And
all the way
lanes.
down. I wonder though, are they opening
I know
up
like some of you probably never
all the way to the Hyperion?
but the entrance
That's
is not
a
going to
good
be
question.
the gates.
Nobody
It's going to
knows.
be
Nobody knows
through
exactly how
downtown
far,
Disney.
like how they're interpreting Buena Vista Street. It would be nice if they
So I'm
put some
assuming like it's
tables
going to close
on
off
uh, on
right
Hollywood
before you go
Boulevard
into
Right.
and maybe
with like the
create more dining experience. So
obstacle
Yeah,
course
because there's a
thing.
bunch. Like if you go past
go all the way down.
the
I
main part
wonder
of
though,
Buenos
are
Vista
they
Street.
opening up like some of
It goes all the way to the end where the Hyperion Theater is,
That's
but like in that area, kind of behind where
like
Monsters
how
Inc.
they're
is, there's
interpreting
a
Hocus
couple
Pocus
food
3.
stands. There's definitely
It
room
would be
for
nice if they
seating,
put some tables
Mhm.
you know.
uh,
So I'm
Hollywood
hoping that
Boulevard
they open up enough of
and
it where there gives
maybe
people
create
plenty of
more
room.
dining
Yeah.
experience. So
That's the only way I think I feel comfortable.
Past
But
all the way down.
you know,
I wonder though, are they
yeah,
opening up like some
we'll see
it goes all the
how
way to
they
the
do
end
it. I
where the
mean,
Hyperion
they've been
Theater
pretty
is,
good so far,
but
so
like in
I
that
can't imagine that
area,
they're gonna make it
kind
a
of
free for all
behind
or anything
where
like that. So,
Monsters Inc. is, there's a couple
especially with
food
the kind of
stands. There's
stringent
definitely room for seating.
um, guidelines that they have right now,
So I'm hoping that
they're not going to mess
they
with that.
open up enough of it where
yeah, and I think like I wonder though, is this like a
Yeah.
test bed to opening also Main Street?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Maybe.
you know,
We'll
I
see
think the only thing about
how
Main Street is
they do
that I
it.
feel like
mean,
because it's
they've
built
been
so
pretty
long
good so
ago that it's
far, so I
smaller,
can't imagine that they're
Right.
or
going to
like
make
more
it a free
narrow,
for all
a little
or
more
anything
tight.
like that. So,
Whereas DCA, it's
especially
I
with
mean
the
it's a
kind of
good
stringent
there's a good reason why they chose DCA over Disneyland.
guidelines that they have
DCA is
now,
definitely more roomy.
they're not going to mess with that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, but yeah, like I wonder how far they're gonna go
Like, I
because
wonder
like
though, is this like a
I kind of
test
like
bed
this
to opening
around this
also
time they would have started or just about to start the Festival of the Holidays
I think the only thing about Main
at
Street is
DCA,
that I feel like
and then that's where
built
they
so
have a
long
whole
ago that
bunch
it's
of
smaller,
food
or like more
kiosks.
narrow,
Yeah.
Um,
That would be
Whereas
really nice if they
right?
It's I mean it's a
decided to
good
do the Festival of
it's
Holidays.
there's a good
Yeah,
reason
I
just
why
mean,
they
I don't know
chose
why they
DCA over
couldn't.
Disneyland.
yeah, I mean like
DCA is
you know,
definitely more
like I said, Knott's Berry Farm has been doing it for months now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wonder how far
Exactly.
they can go.
I would say like though with Knott's Berry Farm, it's a paid
Around this
thing.
time, they would
Right.
Experience.
started.
Yeah, so it's not like free.
Just
Where
about
down
to start
where as the extension of
Festival of
downtown
Holidays.
Disney is probably free,
At DCA,
right?
Right.
You know, and then
But
where they have a whole bunch
you know,
of
I feel like people would pay,
Yeah.
or at least
That would be really
I
would. Nice if they
yeah. Like I don't know if I would say let's turn back on my annual pass to do that because not gonna go all the time.
like I said, Knott's
Right.
Berry Farm
So,
has been doing it
but
for
I would
months
definitely,
now.
it's like I think Knott's Berry Farm like
I would
started
say
around
like
20 to
though
30
with Knott's Berry
bucks
Farm, it's a paid
Yeah.
to go in. Um, so
yeah,
maybe
so it's not like
I would do that.
Or down to
Give it a
where
go.
as
Yeah,
the extension
I
of
definitely
downtown
would do
Disney.
that.
You know,
For sure.
having it being paid.
Right. But
I mean, like it's Disney, so like everything
I feel
is
like
still
people would
crowded,
pay,
or as crowded as
or at
can be,
least
because people will pay.
Yeah.
like I don't know.
But
if
at least
I
it's
would
not
say,
like super
let's turn
open,
back on my
so they can
Yeah.
kind of
annual pass.
control the
Nothing
crowds
all the
for
time.
that, and it's all outdoor, so it's
I
not
would
like
definitely-
you're going
it's like-
inside
I think Knott's Berry Farm
for anything.
I would say like
Just
Yeah.
add more tables and stuff.
go in.
Right.
Yeah,
So maybe
I think it would be,
I would do that.
yeah, really nice.
yeah.
You know, having it.
All
being
right.
paid-
Well, unfortunately,
I mean, like, it's
this has
Disney, so,
not
like,
stopped the
everything
carnage,
crowded,
as
or
there
as
are more
crowded as can be,
layoffs
'cause
that
people
have
will
gone
pay.
out. Some unions are
But at
reporting
least it's
receiving
not, like,
notice,
super open.
and also many cast
they can
members
kinda
from Walt Disney
control
World reporting
crowds.
massive layoffs in
And it's all
entertainment,
outdoor, so it's
including
not like
the
you're
Festival
going
of the
inside.
Lion King, Finding Nemo the Musical,
Add more
Citizens
tables
of
and stuff.
Hollywood, Hoop De Doo Musical Review, Monsters Inc., Laugh Floor, Magic Kingdom, Citizens of Main Street, and Beauty and the Beast live. Sad. Sad because I really enjoy it. Especially some of my most magical moments at Hollywood Studios are the Citizens of Hollywood. I love them. They're like amazing. And I know that there's going to be people who will disagree as to whether they are characters or streetmosphere, whatever. Doesn't really matter to me. I love them.
I mean, they're not. I mean, they're characters, but they're not
Yeah.
like Disney Pixar characters,
Right. They're not created by necessarily
right?
the studios, but they are
Yeah.
created by
I mean, it's
the
the parks,
parks. Yeah.
and they are mainstays at the parks, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what I like about
DCA
DCA. Is on
Mhm.
Buena Vista Street. They always have. I don't know their names, so
Yeah,
you probably
Fifi,
do. There you go.
Donna,
I mean, they're characters.
Officer Blue.
I mean, they're
Right.
not like
Molly.
Pixar
Yeah. And it like feels like it's part of that era, and it gives you that. More so than I think that
Created by
Universal
the
does. Like
parks
Universal has a bunch of
they are
Universal
mainstays at the park.
characters,
yeah,
like Marilyn Monroe or Dracula for
That's what I
whatever
like
reason,
about
and
right.
Lucille Ball and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they are
always have.
characters,
I don't know their names,
I suppose, because
Yeah.
they're known, but like
And they're,
it adds a little bit to it because you don't get that really
I mean,
in
they're not like
Disneyland.
Molly.
I mean, you get some of the
Mhm.
characters, but
and it like
it's
feels
rare that
like
they
it's part of that era.
interact with you as much as
More so than
the
I
others
think
do,
that
Yeah.
right? Because they actually feel like they're citizens
Universal has
and
a
they
bunch
treat
of
you like
Universal
you're part of
characters.
the neighborhood or
Yeah.
whatever.
Monroe or Dracula.
Right.
That's what I like about
Mickey Mouse doesn't do that.
Lucille Ball. So they're like,
In fact, he doesn't say much.
Right.
because they're known.
All right. Well, on the other side of the world, Disneyland Paris has reported that it will again close due to COVID outbreak. So by the time that we release this, they will be closed again.
Yeah,
It's
it's
crazy.
Because they actually
yeah, it's not them alone. In my line of work, um, we could already tell that stuff was happening in Europe because all of a sudden we got busier. It's almost reminiscent of what happened back in March when the first shutdowns happened.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, I work in video games, so we can kind of see. When I say we get busier, is like because we do customer service for video games, so we can see more players. And usually that means more people are playing because they've got nothing else to do. But yeah, like I knew that France was shutting down, Spain I think is going to, Portugal's going to, Italy's getting bad again, and it's one of those things. So it's like, the U.S. had its issues, but like the rest of the world, it's like it's kind of sad to see, like especially like Italy, right? Italy was like, besides China, it was like ground zero in Europe, right? They were like bad shape, and then they got better. But another reminder that this is not done. We don't have a vaccine yet.
Yeah.
So people got a little bit relaxed, and we see that here.
And it's one of those things. So it's like,
But
the U.S. had this issue.
yeah, it's just like it's scary because then
it's like it's kind of sad to see, like, especially like Italy, right?
any kind of sense of
besides
safety
China, it was like
Yeah.
kind of gets thrown out the door.
Europe.
Right. Exactly.
They were
Uh,
bad,
So-
shape,
sad.
and then they got better. But
Really so sad.
another reminder that this
Um,
is not done. We don't have that.
Anyway, well, here's an exciting piece of news. Now, we talked about their
see that here.
coming together for a documentary tomorrow.
Oh, I gotta get a
And
ticket.
yeah. I have my ticket. I bought it like the second that I
I
found
know.
out. But anyway, the Bette Midler, I guess, apparently has confirmed
The Bette Midler.
that the Bette Midler has confirmed that both her and her, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Demme are all scheduled to star in a sequel. So exciting!
Oh, I gotta get a ticket.
I honestly can't wait. As long as they kind of remember how much fun they were having,
Yeah,
then the sequel will be good. They just have to remember
what they
it's
are.
just a fun film.
Yeah.
Don't get too serious or too deep or too whatever. Just live it for what it is.
Yeah, like they have to really embrace what it is, right?
Yeah.
Don't take it. Definitely don't take it seriously. I mean, it's still a production, so take it that seriously. But don't take
Yeah.
the story and like have to make it seem like it's for
It's not Shakespeare.
today's audiences, I guess. Like just remember, like sometimes that's what I miss about movies. Like there's a video that I've seen on like my feeds and stuff where it's like a whole bunch of clips from the 80s,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it just reminds me how fun movies used to be back in the 80s.
Yeah.
silly, didn't take itself seriously. That's when we got like some cool franchise, like Back to the Future.
Right.
Even even as silly as like the Weekend at Bernie's kind of stuff. Like it was just like fun things that didn't have to have some kind of
Deep meaning.
profound message.
Yeah.
And I think today sometimes I feel like it's not as fun. Like the fun that we get is like from like the comic book movies are fun.
Yeah.
But like everything else, it seems very dark and dreary and like has to be real and stuff like. No, it doesn't. It just can be silly and fun and whatever. I think that's what we need. I think that's what we need in that's what I think we need in 2021. Just to go back to having fun when we go see things. Like we have enough. I think we've had enough of 2020 that we need a year or whenever we can go back to the movies. Just
Being fun.
yeah, but we don't have to think about anything. It's just you can laugh at stupid things. Not to say like Hocus Pocus is stupid, but I mean, you know what I mean?
No.
It's
I know what you mean.
It's yeah, it doesn't take itself seriously. It knows exactly what it is, and it doesn't try to pander to try to be something else.
Right.
So that's why like tomorrow. I gotta remember. I hope that they embrace that.
I agree. I can't wait. I cannot wait for tomorrow. I just hope I'm not disappointed, but I don't think I will be.
I mean, I don't know. It sounds interesting. Like I'm curious to what it is because it's even like the description. You're just kind of like, so is it like a making of, or because it's not really a making of because it's not really about the series. It's just a like a mock. I'm thinking it's like a mockumentary.
Mockumentary, yeah, right? Because they're all dressed as the Sanderson sisters.
Yeah,
so there's got to be something to that.
Right.
I guess we'll find out tomorrow.
I know, hopefully.
I mean,
all right. Well, let's go to the Clone Cantina for our Star Wars news. While talking to Yahoo Entertainment, John Boyega commented that he would have liked to see his character Finn lead a stormtrooper uprising as depicted in the concept art from Colin Trevorrow's script, where we see resistance members, including stormtroopers, leading a revolt against the First Order. He also told Entertainment Weekly that he would be open to coming back as Finn, but only if Disney and Oscar were there too. Or Daisy, I mean, Oscar. I was like, oh, wow, he's got confidence in Disney. Well, that's cool that he wants to come back with Daisy and Oscar.
I mean, like, I feel like everything, there's a whole lot of focus on him being quote unquote angry at Disney. I think honestly that his quotes are kind of, I don't want to say out of context, but like not, I think they're being portrayed like he's more serious about it, like he's just like angry, but I think it's just like, I think for him it's what it is. It was like, Disney didn't really do much with my character or Rose Tico, so you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he has the right to speak out about how he would have liked to have seen his character be developed.
I mean, Mark Hamill did.
Yeah,
that's very famously did. So I mean, like, it doesn't mean like John Boyega has always been a really big Star Wars fan. And he even said in the article, like, he's a fan of The Mandalorian. So it's not like he's lost his love for Star Wars. It's like it's there. It's just like he would like to see his character.
I think we would like to have all of their characters been developed a little bit more, particularly in the final episode. But we can't go backward in time.
Yeah, what happened. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Just look. I would say, like, look forward to. Look forward to, what time is it? 7 o'clock? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Like 5 hours from now.
Yeah. I know, huh?
Mandalorian Season 2 begins in 5 hours here.
Oh my gosh.
and then we got Obi-Wan coming. We got a whole bunch of other things lined up. Taika Waititi's doing something. I mean,
Yeah.
he is amazing. So
Yeah.
there's like Star Wars has had a lot going for it.
Yeah. Definitely.
So like even like with the movies that have come out so far, I mean like as much as some people don't like the sequels, a lot of people like Rogue One. A lot of people like Solo.
Solo, yeah.
Solo I think got a bad rap when it came out, but I think people are finding it now on like Disney Plus and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a big make Solo 2 happen movement. I would definitely love to see Solo 2 in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I would too.
Alden Ehrenreich has been. I think he's itching to come back as Solo.
Right.
I know Eunice definitely would come back as Chewbacca. Like he's.
Oh yeah.
I feel like he is now.
He's a lifer.
Right? Like how like Anthony Daniels has always been like the voice of Star Wars when there's no Star Wars. I feel like Eunice is now that also.
Yeah.
So it's cool to like see his enthusiasm. I think the new one actually is going to be also, and we'll mention this in a little bit, but Giancarlo Esposito is another one who I feel is like a super Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Lucasfilm has updated their trademark for Boba Fett, which could indicate that there is more to come from this character, last seen as a young bounty hunter in the Clone Wars. Dun dun dun.
Yeah, I mean, it's another piece, right? Because if you look at the merchandise right now, they've released like eight different Black Series versions of Boba Fett. They just released a special. Like I have to go. Next time I go to the park, I hope they have it. But there's like a. It's not like a Black Series, but it's not like a toy box version. I can't remember what it's called, and it's not whatever. But it's like there's a Darth Maul and there's a Boba Fett. Like it's still stylized, but it's not part of the Galaxies line. It's not part of the toy box line. It's like its own thing, but it's still like a stylized version of Boba Fett.
Right.
Right. I mean, they just released not too long ago the prototype Boba Fett helmet and the Boba Fett helmet Black Series. That Yeah. And then there's all those rumors about Boba Fett in the Mandalorian. So.
Right.
I feel like that's another kind of piece where you're like, Boba Fett's got to be something. Like, there's going to be something Boba Fett coming soon. We do know that there was a movie that they were planning with, what's his name? Trank.
Josh Trank.
Yeah. I mean, obviously that kind of got scrapped, but that character is still a fan favorite. And who knows what happened? Like maybe we'll. I mean, in the next 8 weeks, maybe we'll know exactly what they have planned for him.
Especially if the rumors about Timothy Oliphant's character is true, him having the Boba Fett armor.
Yeah.
So that'll be really interesting.
Yeah, definitely. So, I've always been a fan of Boba Fett. I know it's one of those things like back in the day, like the only thing that was really cool about him was his armor because no one really knew about him.
Oh yeah.
This is pre-special editions. This is so we never saw him in episode 4.
Right.
Like when you see him in episode 4 now, that's an added addition. First time we saw him really was the Star Wars holiday special, which it's his first appearance, but it wasn't really his first appearance.
Yeah.
Like his real first appearance was Empire Strikes Back. He had the cool ship. Still one of my favorite ships. It just looked so cool.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Pedro Pascal and Giancarlo Esposito have been making the talk show rounds Pedro, while not being able to give anything away, remarked that the visual storytelling innovations made in season one continue in season two and go further. He also expressed his amazement at working with his scene partner, Baby Yoda, going as far as being able to improvise with the puppet and have it react in real time. Giancarlo continues to be charming and enthusiastic, also not really able to say anything. He did say this about his character. My character, Moff Gideon, is the warden of the galaxy. He is a remnant of the Imperial Empire, and he's searching for his quarry, which we'll hope he'll find. Hmm. Yeah.
I mean, they're definitely pushing him. Like, he's everywhere.
Oh yeah, Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget which other talks. Like, so that all came from, I think, Good Morning America. I know he was on Stephen Colbert the other night.
Mm.
But he is definitely that's why I say like he might be the next kind of like Anthony Daniels, and Eunice, because he's just like, I think more so than almost anybody else right now, like just embracing that he is in Star Wars, and as like the villain of the Mandalorian, like, Adam Driver, villain of the sequel trilogy, as good as he is he's kind of like he's the Han Solo, like Harrison Ford. Like, he's just kind of like, yeah, cool, but like doesn't really say much, doesn't really talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
But Giancarlo Esposito is kind of like all the time, like on, like he loves it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's so awesome to see him like that, because he normally plays really somber, serious, villainy kind of
Right.
people. I mean,
Yeah.
he still is playing that in Star Wars, but like,
But yeah, but he has more like fan cred with this one.
yeah, it's nice to
Yeah.
see like the villain side embracing their role in Star Wars. You
Mm-hmm.
never really see that in the
Yeah.
villains from the franchise.
Totally.
Yeah, so
All right. Well, the first Mando Monday started this past week with looks at many new Mandalorian merchandise with Pedro Pascal, Giancarlo Esposito, and Carl Weathers. We got glimpses of toys, a skateboard, homeware, books, apparel. They also premiered the painted version of the HasLab Razor Crest toy, which, if you haven't seen that, it is amazing.
I am so glad I am backing it.
Yeah,
They also
yeah.
revealed that they hit their third unlock. So
Uh huh.
it's I don't know who first started these things, but like, for those who don't know, HasLab is a almost like a crowd-funded project.
Mm-hmm.
So these are toys that would are not going to be released to the mass market. You have to back it to get it, because they would be too expensive to mass produce and have just sit on a shelf, because then it would also be like $300-$400, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I and to kind of entice more people is like they have milestones, stretch goals, kind of like in Kickstarter and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You reach this many backers, you unlock this.
Yeah.
So their first unlock was there's an escape pod. So and the escape pod is actually detailed. They showed a little bit more of it. You can actually put a figure in the escape pod, which is reminiscent of the escape pod in Last Jedi that Rey
Mm-hmm.
shoots out to Kylo's ship or whatever.
Hmm.
The second unlock was Baby Yoda. So you get
Nice.
Baby Yoda, uh, 3 3 3/4 inch scale, which is still small, but
So cute. Yeah.
I think also with
Tiny.
the pram, uh,
Yeah.
right?
I saw that.
Yeah, and then um, the third unlock that just got unlocked is it comes with like 4 or 5 carbonite blocks with like 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 the whoever was in carbonite impression on it. So I think like Horatio Sands' character is on one. I think there's a Rhodian.
Cool.
Because you can store them kind of how it is in the Razor Crest, the way he had them kind of lined up on like a hook system.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
And they're saying there's going to be 2 more, which they have not revealed yet. So there's still people are hoping that the next one is lights and sound. And I think if they say that's the next one, people are going to back it, because I think that's the one thing that's missing. That like, if you've seen my video on the Millennium Falcon, that thing has so much like sound and lights everywhere that it's kind of like weird that this Razor Crest for this much doesn't have any of it. But you got to be thinking that's got to be one of the next ones.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure.
And yeah, the painted version of it looks really good. So
that's awesome.
I don't know where I'm gonna put it, but
I can't wait to see
whatever.
What it looks like. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's like, at this point, why worry?
Exactly. I learned my lesson from the first one. I should have bought the first one.
Yeah.
I'm kicking myself still every time I see it. Yeah, because it is whenever Galaxy's Edge opens, it is in Galaxy's Edge. If you go to the toy store, the Toydarian toy shop, it's like on the wall on top.
Just teasing you.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, man.
Oh man.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, let's now move on to our Marvel news and put on our capes and cowls. This is a big piece of news, but Oscar Isaac, speaking of Star Wars, has been signed on to play Mark Spector, aka the Moon Knight. And Egyptian director Mohamed Diab, who directed Clash, which is a foreign film, is set to direct the upcoming Disney Plus series. So it looks like they are adding some really unique voices. Really excited to see Oscar Isaac in this role and what he'll do that's different than Poe, which is actually quite different. So this is kind of a good, as an actor, this is probably a great new role for him, because it's going to be completely different from.
He really is a character actor. I mean, yeah, he's got a high visual, a high profile character in Poe, but like before that, he's one of those characters where you're like, or actors where you're like, oh, yeah, I've seen him before, but disappears into whatever role it is. Like they're all so different that there's no like, it's definitely not like a Nicolas Cage kind of thing where it's Nicolas Cage.
Right.
Oscar Isaac, becomes the role he is in. So he was not a name I would have thought for the Moon Knight. You know what I mean? But when I saw it,
brought it up,
I'm like, okay,
yeah,
right?
Like, I
get it. Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like part of it's also kind of like, I don't know. It's hard to tell what his feelings are about Star Wars, because I don't think he really says much about it. You know what I mean? He doesn't speak ill of it, but he's not like out there, posting Star Wars stuff all the time or whatever. It's like, I feel like, okay, he did it, he's done, move on, whatever.
Right.
Yeah. So for whatever reason, I thought, maybe he wouldn't want to be involved in another high profile kind of thing,
Right.
And this is not like and mostly this, because it's not a movie,
it's a series. Yeah.
Right, which means and it's Marvel, so he's probably be part of the Marvel universe for quite a while.
Right. Well, I think that Marvel obviously has had a big success with Disney,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that people trust Disney to let Marvel do what it has to do. So I think that unlike with Star Wars, they were still batting around ideas and things like that. I mean, it was very like it was a company that was trying to figure out who it was after its creative director of over 40 years, left the company. And so
Mm-hmm.
I can understand a little bit of waywardness to them. And, people are so unforgiving, I tell you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. They are. They're just so unforgiving. Anyway. All right. Well, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings has wrapped production. So I think we're looking I think they're still looking at a 2021 release date.
I mean,
So
post. I would say if anything, late 2021. Then.
yeah, that's what I'm
I mean,
thinking. Like
cause
November.
yeah. I mean, I was like, with everything going on in the world right now,
Hmm.
and not just. I mean, not even talk about the U.S. Like we spoke about it earlier. Like the world is going back into
Yeah.
shutdown mode. So like, you
Right.
know,
Exactly.
who knows? Like
Yeah.
that's what's sad. It's like these are movies that need to be seen in a theater. You know,
Hmm.
um, but again, if it happens that there's no choice but to do some kind of home release, I'm in
Hmm.
for that. Again, it's like, what are you gonna do? You can't just keep all these movies from being released. Then you just have, you know, like what I sequel wise. If Shang
Hmm.
Chi had another sequel, do they just
Yeah.
film it while waiting to release the first one?
Maybe. Yeah. Who
Right?
knows? I mean, that's
Or
not. It's not something odd that they've done.
right? But I mean, because they can't wait. I mean, if they have to wait another year or two, people get
Hmm.
older, so
Right.
things are.
Exactly.
Who knows what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's just a weird time.
It
Like
is. It's a weird time.
I don't have the answers to what Hollywood should do, but
Hmm.
I feel like if they need to adapt, audiences also need to be open to adapting.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people who are like, no, I never want to see those should belong in a theater. I'm like, so do we wait 3 years for these
Right.
things then, or do we not have new content ever? You know what I mean?
See, I'm the kind of person that I would watch it in the theater, at home and in the theater. Now, I may be like one of the minority in this, but I know a lot of people that would do the same.
Right. But I mean, like, I don't know what the cost is to opening in the theater system,
Hmm.
right? Um, but what we do know is that we're heading back into closure,
Yeah.
um, and I feel like resets everything. So I feel like any kind of movement we had towards reopening things like theaters just got reset. So now we're looking at again another 8 months until we're at the point where maybe we do it again.
True. True.
So like, I'm not gonna go into a theater until there's a vaccine and
Right.
there's some form of herd immunity going around.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I agree with you. Sure. All right. Well, Marvel Studios is looking for a writer for Blade. And anybody that you can think of that would be a good writer. I mean, just right off the top, I think that, Get Out or Us, the writer for that. Was
Jordan
that Jordan
Peele,
Peele?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Jordan Peele, I think, would be a great director. I mean, a great writer and director for Blade, I think.
I would be curious to see what he would do with Blade.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, one, he came from Key and Peele, so He's got like, not to say that Blade is humorous, but it's not. It shouldn't be as dark ish as like Us or Get Out. But then he has the chops to direct like a serious kind of movie.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So yeah, I would definitely like be interested to see what he would do with something with a Marvel franchise and with Blade.
I definitely would like to see that.
Yeah, like if Ryan Coogler was not doing Black Panther, he would have been one of them. I don't know what else. I don't know, like I'm trying to think like, because Blade like vampires, but like comic booky. So like, who else can pull that off? Like,
and they really would have to, get into the kind of race politics of it and all of that. I mean, not, so whatever, but, so some of it has to be shown in the film. That's why Jordan Peele seemed like a good kind of writer director for this.
I'm just curious. Like, I wonder how they're gonna fit this world of Blade into the cinematic universe. Like, I feel like we're heading into the era of the Marvel Cinematic Universe where it just is gonna get crazy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, the first phase was like so steeped in like, I don't want to say normalcy, but like everything was still like Iron Man was like, there was nothing really before Iron Man, right?
Yeah.
So once Iron Man showed up, Captain America was thawed, Thor came around,
right?
The Hulk happened, and it's like, and then we know, we got to know that mutants are coming in a big bad way.
Totally.
The introduction of the Mystic Universe.
Yes.
Aliens.
So much going on. So much going on in this phase.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? This is going to get to where it's like crazy. And I hope it doesn't get too off the rails.
Right.
Right? But I have I have faith so far in everything they've done. So
yeah, exactly.
They know how to treat their franchises. It's just like, it's such a different, like, okay, so now there's vampires in the world.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Exactly. It means awesomeness.
Yeah, like I'm not familiar with the comic version of Blade as much. Yeah. Like, I know he's a character, but I don't know like how his comic book character is. Everything I know,
pretty much like the
Wesley Snipes version.
Yeah, Wesley Snipes character, pretty much like him. Yeah.
Yeah, I like how some people are like, if it's not Wesley Snipes, not watching. I'm like, dude, the dude is like 60 something.
I know. God.
He's not going to be jumping around like he was 20 years ago.
Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah.
I tell you. All right. Well, we have come to the end of our show. Be sure to leave a review on iTunes or YouTube, wherever you are watching this or listening to this. It really helps us to be found. And share our posts with your family and friends. Again, you are watching us on YouTube. Please subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and like this post. You can also reach us at podcast@castlescapesandclones.com. Leave us your feedback, good and bad. We'd love to hear from you. You can also reach me personally on Twitter at Lojav and Instagram at Lauren Javier. How about you, Rich?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at R2RomaSanta. I do also want to say that, we talked about The Mandalorian.
Yes.
So we are going to record a kind of, I don't know what to call it. Not a review, but we're going to just talk about it.
Yeah. We're going to chit chat. Yeah. Chit chat about what we saw, what we thought about it, and our hopes and dreams for the series.
That's right. So it'll be live like this one. I think we're planning like 1:30-ish Pacific Standard Time. So that is tomorrow.
Please join us.
So join us then. Chat us up. Ask us some questions if you're watching.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Yep. The opinions expressed on today's podcast are solely our own and do not represent the Walt Disney Company, its subsidiaries, or assets. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you later.
Yep. Catch you on the flip side.